Hello everybody, welcome back, good morning. Let's have a look at Litecoin. Not that I expect anybody to watch this video, like I didn't expect anyone to watch the video last week when we made a video about how Litecoin looks one of the best charts out there. Obviously it's done pretty well now. We're going to look at it on a weekly and just recognize what it's done just this 1 week from the candle body to where it is right now. It's 23%. I know that's not the crypto gains your granddad spoke about, but it's definitely good. Alright, it's definitely good. We've got a golden cross on the weekly, we're above all moving averages, and if you take it back down to the daily, you can see that we've broken out of this descending trend line being the resistance trend line of what is either a symmetrical or descending triangle formation, whichever way you want to draw it, whichever way you want to look at it. You know, you've got yourself a support there, or you could look at the support being these 200 simples or exponentials moving up. You've got your pump signal that was generated, which is kicked off now. And if we look at the candle as it stands, and if we close like this is a technical breakout that's going to take you back up to this previous high over here, 137, which, you know, is a resistance of its own in what could be an accumulation channel before the next big breakout. So it is doing really nicely, I'd say, exactly as expected. Now, I don't want to take full credit for it because on the Patreon what we do is, you know, on Wednesdays and Sunday nights, me and all the Patreons, we all get together and I'm presented with lots and lots and lots of charts. And we all have a look at them. And the beauty of that is that we look at stuff that I'd not normally look at. You know, it's easy to get streamlined into the crypto that you're, or the chart. It's not just exclusively crypto, but it's easy to get, you know, put your blinkers on and not look at other things. And occasionally, you know, something gets brought to the table which is particularly interesting. And about a week ago now, it was Litecoin, which I was like, and I was loving it. I was loving it because Litecoin is considered to be one of those coins which is so old and so boring it's never capable of doing anything. But when you hold it up to next to all these other coins that people always seem to think are the next big thing, you know, all these meme coins or whatever, or these AI coins or whatever, you know, that somewhere along the lines they've been pumped into, you know, Telegram channels, or YouTubers refer to them as the next big thing, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Actually, they're all looking horrendous. They all look terrible. As you look at Litecoin, it's bullish on a weekly, bullish on a daily, bullish on a 4-hourly, breaking out bullish. And it actually is one of the better charts out there. There was a couple that were actually withstanding this last couple of weeks really well. This one, and so is XMR as well. I'm sure that's got its own reasons for being able to support its price. But generally, I loved the fact that that Litecoin was in that and actually presented itself as one of the best charts out there. Now, when I talk about good charts, it doesn't mean that I'm saying that this chart is going to make 1,000 billion%. A good chart to me is a chart which gives clear direction or clearer direction than others. So it's about statistical likelihood of success. That's what a good chart is to me. There isn't really a chart where you'd be looking at it and go, you know what, this one's going to do 1,000,000x. Charts don't really present themselves in that way. You've got uptrends, you've got downtrends, you've got accumulations, you've got redistributions, you've got all kinds of ways to work out or believe that it's going to behave a certain way in the not too distant future. So you can either make money or not make money. It's completely your call. And this is, and was, and still is, a good chart because the statistical likelihood of success was high compared to the vast majority of altcoins, which was low. It's unlikely, and the only way that they had a chance of making money was if the market as a whole decided to move up, which it kind of has done, kind of is doing, but we are sort of, and you ought to be relatively concerned about what this is doing on Bitcoin, which is a death cross retest, which is one of the things we've been talking about. If you get death crosses, expect a retest. A retest can give you a rejection, take you back down to where you started from, and then some. So this is what the situation is for the vast majority of crypto. It's following in the shadows of Bitcoin, unable to really do anything of their own because it's moving with the market. And the market isn't really moving much at all, which is why we, you know, like Litecoin. We even liked EOS. You know, even EOS is better than the majority of these altcoins that get presented on the Patreon. That are like a year or so old. You know, the things on MEXC that basically have a chart that looks like this. They're like this. Whoa! Oh, And these sort of moves can be, 300%, 200%, 400%. And so it's tempting to buy into a chart that looks like that because it's capable of doing hundreds of percent quite quickly. That's the degenerate trader gambler speaking to you there. And there's nothing wrong with trying to get a handle on a chart like that and trying to capitalize on a chart like that. But when it's a down only chart, meaning that it only goes down, there's no real reason to expect it to suddenly turn around and go up, which makes it very hard to trade those coins because those charts are more than likely going to make a lower high and a lower low, which makes it higher risk, which means if you get it wrong, you don't even really have the time aspect of the chart on your side, because time in a chart like that will take you to lower lows, meaning that if you can't exit a trade like that, you lose. Whereas Litecoin would appear to be an up-only chart, yeah, over a long period of time, I'm sure, but an up-only chart. It's also similar, if not identical, tokenomics to Bitcoin, 21 million from as I understand it, halving and stuff like that. So basically its own sort of 4-year cycle that runs parallel to the market. So it's not obviously going to be operating outside of the entire crypto market. When a bear market comes, Litecoin will have a bear market. When a bull market comes, Litecoin should enjoy the bull market. I'm just trying to point something out that this is a good chart compared to all those others. And now we can, we are beginning to, if not already recognizing that we are seeing that. Going across on the Bitcoin pair as well, which means that this is likely to continue to outperform Bitcoin until further notice. Next target is ever so slightly above where we are, 1403 sats. And it does look like we're starting to turn a corner, 5% up versus this Bitcoin pair. Now, there's your down-only chart with the Bitcoin pair. But if this is going to turn around now, we've got horizontals on the Bitcoin pair, 1.7, and then obviously the top targets being around here, 2.6 and 2.88. These would be very big top targets for Litecoin if it were to get here, and it would be for you to decide whether to exit there. You could be looking, and again, the operative word being could be looking to double the amount of Bitcoin that you own if it works out like that. It could go more. It could go more than that. But look, a down only chart presents in one way. It goes down only. If you want to be in Bitcoin, it would make more sense, wouldn't it, when you look at a chart like this for a long period of time. But in the short term, there is a chance for a nice move on that. But certainly, we can already see it. We recognise it for what it is. I mean, even from the wick to where we are right now, we are talking 62%, which again is not the crypto gains that you read in the prophecy. But this is March. No, it's not. It's February. And February hasn't been particularly kind. Not to Bitcoin, not to stocks, not to altcoins, not to anybody. But I see nothing more than an opportunity. Like I said in yesterday's video, and I've been reiterating for a little while now, yeah, it's boring. It's hard to make videos to be enticing to anybody. The most interesting video or the most opportunistic video I made was last week's video on Litecoin. And again, you tell me, what crypto is it that you've been in that has done well over this last week? There's not many of them. Let's face it, even Bitcoin is sideways to the max. This candle is more or less unchanged. The situation is basically unchanged. Everything is unchanged. Ethereum, basically weak, unchanged. Well, I say weak, I mean it's struggling with the resistance, still above the support, but boring, right? And so we're kind of left with this old buddy to recognise that it's not all bad, that there are opportunities in this market if you base it on their individual merit, and you don't venture too far out of maybe the top 10, 20, 30 cryptos. Because it looks like the money is going into those ones more than the speculative, shite coins, basically, which is what I would advise at this stage, and I have been advising for a long time actually, to stay away from. Buy into strength. Buy into strength. You just want to make money. That's all you want to do. Just make money. Don't want to speculate too heavily on coins that don't look good just because someone says that they are the next best thing. There's too many next best things out there. And I think people are getting wise to it. It looks like the market has certainly wised up to it. If you want to play crypto, if you want to make crypto gains, you need to think about buying into strength. All right, strength might only mean 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100% gain. But in real life, that's money in your pocket, and the promise of a 200, 300, 400, 1,000% gain is not necessarily going to happen. So if you just want to make money, if you want to be a profitable trader, if you want to buy into strength, it seems to be where the money is at the moment. Things can change, and I expect that they will. We talk about the total 2 as the main driver of that, and if we close this week, we'll be closing a week above the center of the Bollinger Band again, which means that we're likely to stay that way and continue up towards the top, and maybe even continue beyond there, which is what I expect to see anyway. We've got between now and September to see the full potential of the altcoin market reach a peak. So there is time, but still, a down-only chart shouldn't appeal. An up-only chart ought to appeal. And just because it's Litecoin and it's uncool and it's old and it's boring, doesn't mean that it's not there for you to make money out of. So I would say the majority of this move appears to be done. You want to be careful around the 130 area, but it's a good start for an old coin like Litecoin. And again, it just highlights that there is value to old coins, and there's also value to the Patreon. So if you want to join that, links in the description below. We're doing a stream again on Sunday night is what we do, leading into the Monday Open. So we can, I suppose, prepare and try and recognise what it is that the overall trading environment is before it opens Monday morning for obviously stocks and Forex and all the other big boys. Because crypto is just an afterthought of a much broader market at the moment, which in itself has slowed down, but is also broken out. Right, I'll leave it with you there. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.